Down here with Terrence Page, Cultured Image Grooming Studio, owner and founder. Terrence, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you.
So tell me, who is Terrence and what is Cultured Image?
Terrence Page at this particular point is a 35-year-old growing man, evolving man, born and raised Cookeville, Tennessee, single parent, and I'm just coming into what the good Lord has blessed me to be, and knew I had potential to be. He made me. You know what I mean? And so I'm just coming into that process of things, process of life.
So what is Cultured Image? Tell us about the business, but also why is it so unique?
Cultured Image is a grooming studio. For those that don't know what a grooming studio is, it's a barbershop. We're a diverse barbershop. I think a lot of times people are thrown off by the word cultured, especially those that know Terrence. They're thrown off by what a lot of society is putting out to today, and that has nothing to do with what Cultured Image is. The definition of cultured is refined by good taste, good manner, and good education. And so that's who Terrence is. I'm refining myself, educating myself, and learning how to rebrand and re-image myself to society.
And how do you think that transitions over to your customers?
We're more than barbers. Like I said, we just so happen to cut hair. You understand what I'm saying? We're barbers, we're psychiatrists, we're physicians, we're mentors. The history of a barber, the stripes have meaning, bloodletting, teeth pulling, you know what I'm saying? So we're more than barbers. We do more than cut hair with these individuals that we see every day. They become our family. I have a couple families. I would love to name drop them, but I'm not going to. But I have a couple families that have become very, very, very monumental into what Cultured Image is growing to be, because they have kids, of different age kids, that I see. I see the teenage son, I see the 9-10-year-old daughter, and then I see this 4 to 5-year-old baby that I get to groom. Them. You know what I mean? And it's more than grooming them here. It's raising them in every step of life. That when they become products of society, I'm there for them. You know what I mean? So like I said, it's more than cutting hair, man.
And I'm sure that gives you an enormous sense of self-pride to be able to do that.
Yes, it does. It really does, because I look at myself and a lot of these kids I see, because some of the kids don't have fathers, and some of these kids have siblings. And so some of these single mothers are coming in with 2 and 3 kids, and so I have to play different roles with one family, I just was talking to a mentor of mine the other day, and I'm coming into the fact that I have to wear more than one hat. Growing up, I just thought I was born to wear one hat. I'm realizing now I wear more than one hat, and I'm realizing it's okay going through that process to get to that point,
Well, let me take you back to your childhood. All right, so here you are, 35, you're Terrence, you've got Cultured Image. When you were a kid, did you know that this was what you wanted to do?
No. My mom worked at Oster's, which was on Fisk Road. We all use Oster clippers. My mom used to get clippers and take to my uncles so they could cut their hair, because we didn't have a barbershop here growing up that cut ethnic hair. We had no barbershop here. So my dad, Bart Simpson, Batman, all the letters in cursive, he could put your name in your hair. I had no idea at that particular point that's what I was set to do. I didn't realize it even when I signed up in barber school in 2010. I didn't know it. I wasn't at a point for God to reveal it. You understand what I'm saying? It wasn't until I met my spiritual mother and she started telling me some things about life, how life happens, that this story's about to unfold to you. And I don't know that you're ready to see it. I had what we call in the culture hoop dreams. All I wanted to do was play basketball. I was athletic, come from an athletic family, very athletic family, which goes into to some of the stuff that you can see now. I was a pretty good kid, until, like all of us, we hit our teenage years. You understand what I'm saying? There were some things that happened in my childhood that I didn't understand how to process with and deal with, which goes into culture, being redefined, learning how to redefine my manners, educate myself on some things. You get to middle school, that's when life started presenting some things to me that I had no business being exposed to, and not knowing how to process, still having the hoop dreams, dealing with the political standpoint of society, coming from poverty. And at that particular point, a lot of people here didn't think poverty existed, but poverty is not just an economical standpoint. Poverty is a mindset too, you know. And, you know, when you're in poverty in the mindset, it can be more impactful than being in poverty from an economical sense of things. Because when you're in an economical sense of poverty, you do what you have to do to survive, which is why a lot of these cities have the crime rate, the violence, you know, a lot of stuff that comes with that. But when you're in a place like Cookeville and you're in the mindset of poverty, you're stuck. You don't have no dreams. You don't have no visions. You know what I'm saying? So, and you gotta excuse me because
It's from the heart.
I feel that's why this culture is like it is, and that's why this world is like it is. Because a lot of people don't understand that. But a lot of people aren't open to the discussion to understand it. You know? There's so many parts that have to be unfolded in that discussion. And for so many years, Michael, the discussion has been swept under the rug. A lot of people aren't willing to face that pain, you know? And so that's where my story got real, man. Like I said, man, it's so much, you know, it's so much.
So you've got this, you know, you've got this experience, you've got this mindset. Clearly, that's changed along the way. You've learned things, you've grown. Did you find mentors? Did you find leaders? How did you get to this point, to where you're at now?
I had some mentors locally, some well-known mentors. Mark Burnett, thank God for Mark Burnett, the Burnett family, and everything that comes with the Burnett family. If it wasn't for the Burnett family, man, you know, I don't know that you would see Cultured Image if it wasn't for the Burnett family, you know, because the Burnett family exposed me to a lot that I knew I would never see, you know. Morris Serby, another very influential person for my community, you know, for this community. So I had local mentors, but my real mentorship didn't come until I had to move away to rebrand myself, rehabilitate myself, and reposition myself in life, you know. And that's where I came into the barbering. You know, my first stop was Blue Raider Barbershop in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, that was owned by a pastor that had to reposition his life. So that's where that side of the mentorship came. My spiritual mother came from the same barbershop. The story's funny because I'm in the barbershop for like 2 weeks, brand new in a city that I'm not accustomed to, I'm not from, you know, so that's a large part in growing your clientele, being from the city. So, you know, I'm 2 weeks in and the phone rings and this woman's on the other end of the phone and I'm looking to speak to the owner. Well, he's not here. He wasn't there. Come to find out, she was a barber looking to employ herself. And I'm like, I can't let her talk to him. You know, I'm just now getting my feet wet. There's no way. So I try to roadblock that. You know, come to find out that woman has been the most influential person in my life. You know, she's what's gotten me to where I'm at. Another individual came along during that stint. And then when I left Blue Raider, I went to a predominantly Caucasian shop, which is where I learned how to diversify myself in this industry. It was something that I knew I wanted to do along the way. I knew I didn't want to be the one lane, and that's one thing that plagues the cultured barbershops, I'll say, the native black barbershops. I don't like using the word African American, but that's what plagues the native black barbershops, that we just see it from one lane. You know, we just want to cut our people. We just want to cut curly hair, textured hair. We don't want to diversify ourselves. So I was blessed to go to a predominantly Caucasian shop. I learned a lot there. God took me back to Blue Raider because at that particular point, from transitioning from the Caucasian shop back to Blue Raider, I had analyzed some things and I had seen how I never wanted to run a barbershop, you know. And then he got me with some other individuals that were very, very rooted in the native black culture. And I also seen some things there, learned some things there that I didn't want to see. So I had some great mentors along the way to get to where I'm at.
So you've got your mentors, you're down in Murfreesboro, you're learning, you've got your client base you're building up, but then you've come back here and started the barbershop. Why Cookeville? Why the Upper Cumberland?
I didn't come back. God called me back.
Okay.
And if I'm just being honest, I did not want to come back because I knew what I was coming back to, because I knew why I had left. I knew why I had left, you know, so I didn't want to come back. But God brought me back. My spiritual mother that I just spoke of, she told me in April of 2019. She'd been telling me, you know, I met her 2017. So she'd been telling me from 17 to 19, you know, God's got something for you. God's got something for you. You are the change in that community. And I mean, I wish she was here so you could get that testimony today, because she had been telling me. All three of the mentors I met at Blue Raider have been telling me, Terrence, you are it. You are it. You're the voice that your community is gonna have to have. And I'm like, no way, you know, because I knew what I left. I knew the mindset I was in when I left. I knew what I had left behind. I knew what I had struggled with while I was here up until being, you know, 26, 27 years old. So I knew what I was leaving. I had to get to the mindset. I had some stuff that I had to face once I came back home. I had to deal with. I'm still dealing with. You understand what I'm saying? So come back. I go to a local barbershop. One of the things that I did when I came back, I understand the importance of connecting with what's established, you know, paying homage, I guess, if you will. So it's not like I had a barbershop to come back to that had been established for many, many years, but there were a couple people that were doing some things that looked like me. So of course I reached out to them. You know, he was just like, no, I'm setting you out on your own course, you know. So, you know, I got the ball rolling, got the ball bouncing on some things, and, you know, some things are coming together. Me and my family took a vacation to Jacksonville, and, you know, I felt the Lord tell me, I'm gonna go put you on this beach, let you hear some ocean waves, and, you know, let you see some sunsets and some seagulls chirp, you know what I mean? So when I went to Jacksonville, I went and I prayed, and he gave it to me. You know, he said, here's the vision. Here's the vision. I didn't know the name of the vision at that particular point, but he said, here's your vision. We were on the road, and I told my fiance, this is it. This is a woman that I've known, I've been with for a long time. We've got a lot of history. You know, at this particular point, we've started a family. We've had a family, but now we've started a family. You know, again, I come from a lifestyle of a rough lifestyle, you know, and that's part of the culture. That's what people feel is a part of the culture, you know, and that's what's been pushed. But this woman's seen some dark times in my life, and she stuck with me. You know what I mean? I thank God for her now because she's still there. You know, there's parts of the story that he put in for me to get to the place that I'm at with my faith, and that make this story so beautiful. But, you know, I told her on the way back, I said, I got it. He's giving it to me. And he's giving me the confidence to go do it, you know. And she's like, what? I don't know, but I know it's it. You know what I mean? Like, I have no idea what this vision entails because I don't, you know. I just know that I said yes and amen to it, you know. And we learn along the way. You know, that's one thing about life that you have to love is that you have to be able to continue to grow and continue to learn. But, you know, I told her, I said, I've got the vision. He's giving me the vision. So we get back, you know, I'm setting some things in play. I reached out to some people that were already in the position, and he said, no, that's not it. I got your own vision. Okay, God, what is it? Here it is. Okay, God, what's the name? Because I wanted to make sure I was moved and led to do everything. So I didn't want to say that I came up with the name of Cultured Image because I didn't. That's why it's not Tad's Barbershop or Terrence's Barbershop, because it's not mine. I just so happen to be in here. You understand what I'm saying? Because the story is not about me. It just involves me. I'm the person that can go now get this dialogue started. You understand what I'm saying? So I was on my way to Murfreesboro because that's where they still live at, you know. I'm on my way to Murfreesboro, and I said, God, I'm driving. I'm at Diddy Road and I'm at the intersection of Diddy Road and Burgess Falls. Going through the stop sign. I'll never forget. I'm going through the stop sign. I cross over the road. I look at that beautiful white house that sits right there, and I say, God, I need you to give me a name for my barbershop. I'm days away from opening, and I don't have a name. I'm days away from calling the state, and I don't have a name. Cultured. I type in Google the definition of cultured. Refined by good taste, good manner, and good. Oh, that's it. Bing, got it. Cultured what? Cultured barbershop don't sound good. God, cultured barbershop don't sound good. I'm driving that windy road down Diddy. I get to the stop sign. I'm getting ready to turn right. Image. Cultured image? Cultured image, cultured image, cultured image, cultured image. Michael, the whole way to Murfreesboro, I kept saying cultured image, cultured image, cultured image. What does it look like to say cultured image, cultured image, cultured image? Redefined by good taste, good manner, and good education image. That's it. That's my story. That's it. You know, so that's where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? So God called me home with this vision, to start this vision, to launch pad, to pilot this ship that I feel is gonna change the world, man.
So you're back home, you've got your name, you're excited, you're inspired, you've got this, you open up, and then boom, pandemic hits.
Michael, God is so good, man, because weeks before I started listening to some podcasts, and they were in, of course they're talking about China, but they're also talking about I forgot what country it was in because, you know, it's been a year ago. I do a lot of stuff daily, I forget, but I was ahead of it. I'm like, what is this pandemic that they're talking about coming this way? What in the world? And all I keep hearing these experts say on the podcast is they're not going to know. They're not going to know. They're not going to be prepared. Doctors aren't going to know how to handle it. Hospitals are going to become filled. Many people are going to die. I didn't get scared. I didn't get scared. I knew what God was doing. You know, I knew what God was doing. I thank God for equipping me with the gift and the intellect of anticipation. You know, because I played sports as a kid, and one thing I was never a good offensive basketball player. I was horrible, but I still could get you 15, 20 on a good, 12 to 15. On a good night, I may roll you off 20, 22. I got that off my defense. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of times in life, we want to play offense. We want to control. We want to control life. We want to control the game a lot of times in life. But defense is where the history is made. That's where, you know the saying, offense wins games, defense wins championships. My defense and my gift of anticipation is a huge part of the cultured image story. You know what I mean? So I wasn't scared. Was I comfortable? No. You know, I hadn't envisioned this, you know, moving from the location to here. All that was God orchestrated. You know what I mean? The process it wasn't a long process, but it was a process that entailed some things that I didn't know he was doing. You know, from the communication with the landlord of this location, from how he was gonna set everything, put everything in play. A lot of businesses have had to go out of business during the pandemic. I've been blessed to double down. You know, I have to soak that in for a minute. You know, I had one of my clients a couple weeks ago. He said, "Man, you know, he's good with numbers." He asked me, he said, "So what are your numbers?" And I told him. He looked at me. Do you understand what you just told me? I was like, "No, not really." He was like, "Man, you literally tripled during the pandemic." So, I mean, I hate the pandemic happened. I hate the pandemic happened. This has been one of the best years of my life, you know? And I think that God is sprouting up his people right now. You know what I mean? He's sprouting up his people. And, you know, a lot of people are going to see this and they're going to be like, how dare? They don't know what God's doing in my life. You know? Who are we to judge?
Well, obviously you've been called. He's put things into place for you.
Yes, sir.
What did he tell you? What ultimately did you have to do? How did you innovate to stay open? Because this is not just a barber shop. This is a connection point. What did you do to triple your numbers?
I remained obedient a little bit. I knew in the places and in the positions and in the mindset where I wasn't obedient, I knew he was graceful and a forgiving God. So if I mess up, if I make a mistake, it's okay. Get back on course. So I just try to stay the course, you know, and I try to keep focus at hand. You know, I didn't go into the survival mindset, you know, because we're still serving people. When you serve people, you can't You yourself can't have the mindset of surviving because those individuals that you come across every day, they're having to survive too. So they're not coming to sit in my chair to survive. They're coming to sit in my chair to escape the survival mindset that they're in. You understand what I'm saying? So I had to be able to position myself. I got to survive too, but I have to be able to position myself to still be able to remain an influence. How do I influence these people that are losing their jobs? How do I influence these people that are losing their homes and, they're watching their family members become sick? How do I still remain an influence to these people? And, he gave it to me. He gave me everything I needed right when I needed it.
So talking a little bit more about the pandemic, there's other entrepreneurs out there dealing with the exact same thing as you, completely different business, but seeing and experiencing what you're experiencing. What would you tell other people that are watching the show right now?
Keep pushing. Keep pushing, keep praying, keep praying, keep pushing, keep pushing, keep praying, keep praying, keep pushing. That's it. Again, everything is on his time. I like to work in acronyms, and he gave me the acronym of FAITH, and it's focus, attention, intent, trust, and helping. You've got to stay focused on the task at hand that he's given you. You've got to be able to pay attention to detail. When that pothole comes, you got to be able to know you got to swerve. That road bump, slow down. You know what I mean? So you got to be able to pay attention to detail. You got to move with intent and purpose that he's given you. You got to trust him while moving with intent and purpose, paying attention and staying focused. You got to trust him. But at the end of it all, you have to continue to want to help people. And that's what faith at this particular point in life means to me. Staying focused, paying attention, moving with intent, trusting him, and helping people.
So you've mentioned many times about influence. You talk about leadership. I also want to know, what does it mean to you from a perspective of minority ownership, representation? What does that mean to you?
That's a good question. That's a very in-depth question, Michael, because growing up, I didn't see minority-owned businesses. I didn't see black-owned businesses. The only black-owned business I seen, you can see it in this shot here. You see it. That's why it's by my station, because that's why that place means so much to me. So, and that's a trifold question, because I get excited when I see it, I get angered when I see it, but I also get moved and motivated when I see it. So to be a minority-owned, a black-owned business here in Cookeville, Tennessee, being able to serve the Upper Cumberland, being able to serve as a hub and to your white counties and your Smith counties and all 14 counties that this place serves that don't see minority-owned business, and I have to really dig deep into that question, because if you look around Cookeville, Putnam County, you see tons of Mexican restaurants. We don't have too many black-owned businesses, no food establishments. It's essentially in the black-owned businesses that are here are essentially in the respective industries that we dominate already. But why aren't we owning other industries that we aren't dominating? The culture, and again, the definition of culture is so broad. The meaning of what cultured image is so broad, We're the number one consumer in a few industries. The beauty industry, the entertainment industry, the fashion industry. We're the number one consumer in those industries. So why is it always that we have to own those industries? Which goes into another question and another answer and another meaning of what is cultured image. Cultured image is so much more than beauty and barbering, because cultured image to me is more than a barbershop. God's given me a real big vision of cultured image, man, and it just fires me up on the inside to know that I'm starting to see the vision manifest now, So, my minority-owned business in Upper Cumberland means a lot, but to me, it's more than the Upper Cumberland, Again, like I say, I'm just the piece. I'm the piece. It's not about me. It just involves me. I'm the piece. I've always said Cookeville's a place that can change the world. We have to change the people of Cookeville and the Upper Cumberland first. But we can change the world right here. These people are great people. Such loving people come from here. We got to change their mindset, open their eyes, and change their mindset to some things.
How do we change mindsets?
Communication.
Okay.
Communication, communication, communication. That's it. What we are doing. It's very clear me and you do not look alike. It's very clear. But that don't matter because we serve one purpose. That's to help. It's about communication, period. At the end of the day, focus, attention, intent, trust, and helping. It's about communication. That's it. You got to have the faith and communicate.
What advice would you give to anybody about how to better communicate? How can, obviously me and you, we're doing a great job of communicating. Talk to our viewers here. How do we start those conversations?
Listen. Listen. One of the things that I've had to learn, Michael, I love to talk. Anybody that knows me, man, knows I love to talk.
I've been accused of that too.
And we can sit in dialogue all day. I love to talk. What I had to do, and I'm still learning how to do. The guys that help me run this place will tell you a lot of times I'm the one doing a lot of the talking. Sometimes you have to stop. You know that old saying they used to do? You gotta listen. Sometimes you just gotta stop and you gotta listen. And I think if we can get to the point to where we have communication to listen and not a communication to react and respond, just to communicate to listen. A lot of times people want to have the conversation. They're open to having communication. They want to have the conversation. They just don't want to listen. Because sometimes when you listen, it forces you to feel something. It forces you to realize something that you forced yourself not to feel. So why do I want to listen to that? So we got to listen, man.
You got to go out there and you got to get outside of your comfort zone. You got to listen to the things you don't want to hear, and you got to have the conversations you don't want to hear because, yeah, it's great that we're having this conversation, but how do we take that to a larger level?
That's a good question. I think with anything, you have to start and be grounded and have a very, very, very strong foundation of what you're looking to build. Cultured image is built off 26, 27 years of pain and not knowing, not being led. That's what cultured image is built on. So me knowing that, I knew what I had to go out and seek. I knew how I had to go out and seek some leaders that were grounded in faith, that knew how to lead and that knew how to influence. So I think we have to be able to get ourselves to a mindset to where we can be grounded. Me and you can have a very, very, very strong understanding. Keep the main thing the main thing. Don't get off. Keep your main thing your main thing. And when we get to that point to where me and you can keep the main thing, now we're in a position to understand, look, you're going to be uncomfortable. I'm going to be uncomfortable. That's okay. Keep the main thing the main thing. That's what communication and listening and talking is all about. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's how you do it, man. You have a strong foundation. We got one goal, one focus, one direction. When we can sit down and me and you can understand that, and we can bring on 2 more individuals that understand that can bring on 4 more individuals that can understand that, man, this place, like you said a while ago, this place is growing and it's becoming more diverse. We're having to think outside the box. We're having to get uncomfortable. We're having to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And a lot of times people don't want to do that either. So I want to stop and take a minute.
All right.
I don't, and I don't mean to get sidetracked, but we had a moment in here Sunday that started off with me and Berto. I didn't know what God was doing when he sent you, man. I had no idea. I'm grateful for it. I want you to understand. I want you to know how grateful I am for it. And Joe, he sent me you for a different reason too, man. Our stories all intersect from a barbershop, man.
You know, a place that people have put on the back burner for so long that can be so influential to this world. I had no idea what he was doing with this. I still don't know it all. I still don't know it all. And that's okay. He woke me up at 2:30 in the morning, Tuesday morning. And I said, God, what are you doing? I've been praying for a slogan for this shop because I understand how business operates. They'll tell you. We just had a shop meeting. When that shop meeting's been months ago. I need y'all to help me come with a slogan for this shop because it's not my shop. He woke me up at 2:30. I got your slogan. Okay, what is it? The barbershop that's gonna change the world, but more importantly, change how men maneuver in it. For one time in life, man, I feel it. First time in life. I fought life a long time, man. I'm tired of fighting. I'm tired of seeing our people fight. I'm tired of seeing this world fight. I just gotta bathe in his presence and thank him, man. You know. Thank you. That's why those pictures up there, man.
Tell me about those pictures. What does that mean to you?
So much pain and a lot of hope, man.
Right?
A lot of hope. You know, I can't even get started on this one, man, because I'll run y'all out of here with that. You know, my grandma was my hero. It's my hero, man. You know, those people up in there from that community right there, I put them on the front line in any war, and we're going to come out of victory. I promise you I would, you know. The history of Free Hills isn't taught enough like it needs to be taught. It wasn't given to us. It wasn't given to us. It wasn't taught to them for them to teach to us like it should have been. You know, you're talking a place that was free before the Civil War. Look at where we are in America, man. Free before the Civil War. Tennessee, Upper Cumberland. You don't want to. I don't want to get in on that, you know, but it means a lot, man. It means a lot. It means so much, you know, and I've been in a lot of places, Memphis, Atlanta, you know, the Carolinas. I've been in a lot of places. That's probably the most poverty-stricken community I have ever been in my life. Do you know why? Because it goes back to what we said earlier. When you're stuck here, it wins over any place that you could ever be stuck in. When you're stuck in your mind, man, like it.
You know, you talked about hope. You talked about vision. You got plans. What's the future for you?
Just to continue to influence, you know, continue to lead, continue to be led, continue to be downloadable, you know, continue to search, continue to pray, continue to change lives, you know, a lot. I just told them the other day, you know, a lot of people will look at me like it's success. You know what I mean? He's become successful. Nah, I'm not successful. I ain't even scratched the surface of it yet. I like to work in analogies, but I can't even think of an analogy to put it into words for you, Michael, because I know I'm just now scratching the surface of what God made me for. You know, I'm just now scratching the surface of that, and I know that, and I'm okay with that. I just have to continue to influence these guys, influence this community, influence the people that come into this barbershop to learn how to lead, to go out and influence the world, you know. But Cultured Image has got a bright future.
What do you think that future is for the business?
expanding. You know, I want to get into more barbershops. Right now, I'm putting some stuff together. You know, a lot of people don't, college ain't for everybody. So I think we have to get back to, I think this country has took a shift. We lost faith, focus, attention, intent, trust, and help. We lost the faith, took a shift. We shifted away from what this country was built on. This country was built on skill setters. You know, plumbers, electricians, welders, pipe fitters. This country was built on the backs of those individuals, and we've kind of left those in the background. You know, so we got to get back to the skill setters, man. You know, and that's where I'm at with cultured image right now. You know, barbering's changed my life. In the social barbering world of things, you know, this is a hashtag generation. You know, there's a hashtag barbering changed my life, and barbering really changed my life. But that's what this profession was set here to do many decades ago, was change lives. So that's my future with cultured image, and embracing it even more so. You know, that's a big part of the journey, is learning how to embrace. I like to live by a slogan that I came up with. You know, embrace the struggle, endure the pain, and enjoy the reward.
So we got to have conversations. We got to have communication. We got to get back to the skill sets. We also need to look at the youth. What would you tell the youth that's watching our show right now? What's your message to them?
Quit watching it and get involved with it. You know, I think with the youth, a lot of times they're watching the wrong thing. You know, and so you have to be able to listen when somebody tells you something. You know, a lot of times as kids, you know, we don't like to listen to our parents because, you know, a parent's job is to protect. As kids, we don't understand that. You know, me and you probably have kids, you know, it's part of parenting. I have to protect my child, but as a child, you don't see that protection. You know, you're not there. And I think, and again, that's a whole different conversation, because I think that goes back to the educational system of things, you know. But I would tell them, quit watching and get active. You know, there's more to life than a basketball, football, baseball bat. There's more to life to that. Read a book, you know, find some historians, find some leaders, read a book, educate yourself, stay out of trouble, you know, learn how to have fun, but learn how to have safe, positive fun, you know, because that's a big part of my story. Live your life, you know, and don't give up. You know, don't give up. Don't ever give up. You know what I mean? Like, don't give up. You can't give up, because if you give up, you know, that's the end. You know, you go back to that mindset. So,
Well, Terrence, this is clearly more than just your business. I want to thank you so much for being on the show.
thank you.
I've learned a lot today, and I hope the viewers have too. Thank you again.
Thank you,
from the
man.
bottom of my heart.
Thank you, man. Thank you.